Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here on the show to talk about the Orange Bowl between number 6 Georgia and number 4 Florida State. What a fucking ass whooping here by Georgia over Florida State. Remember when everyone was talking about, oh, Florida State got wrong, Florida State this, Florida State that, and they come over here and get their ass whooped. People are like, oh yeah, they had transfers, opt-outs. Well, if they were deserving of a playoff spot, then why didn't those players play to prove they deserved it? Why did they opt out? Why did they quit? Just saying. Hate those freaking players to opt out. Like, you're quitting on your team the last freaking game. Can't play one freaking game. I mean, I get if you're a top first round pick, but if you're not, you still have something out there and prove it. If you deserve, like, for example, and I'll say Florida State, if they deserved a playoff spot, then players could have went out there and proved they deserved it. Instead, they quit. They're quitters. They're losers. Just saying. The game was over at halftime. It was 42-3. It was 7-0 in the first quarter. Georgia scored 35 points in the second quarter, 13 in the fourth. Everything after the halftime was pretty much just, running up the score. Carson Beck played good, 13 of 18, 203 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, a freaking backup. Gunner Stockton coming to the game. Fucking Gunner Stockton. He was 6 of 10, 96 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 total touchdown passes between the quarterbacks. But they're like, oh, it's not fair to judge Florida State because they're playing with their third-string quarterback. Well, UJ marched down the field for a TD to begin the second half with Gunner Stockton under center. And he racked up 45 yards on 5 carries as well. I mean, come on. No excuses. They also ran the ball quite a lot, obviously, because Florida State wasn't able to stop the run. They were missing a lot of their defensive players, so Kendall Milton had 9 runs, 104 yards, 11.6 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns. Kendall Milton's definitely going to get drafted by a team. And he was the Orange Bowl MVP, but I think we have to have this conversation. Did Georgia get robbed of the playoffs? We're not just talking about Florida State, we're talking about Georgia here. In the season 13-1, we have to bring up this conversation as well. Did Georgia get robbed? Because they played like a top 4 team in this game. And I think they were the best team overall this year until they lost the SEC Championship. That's why I just think this format's flawed. And I'm glad we're getting 12 teams next year in the playoffs. Because this year would have been perfect. I really think Georgia's the best team out of anybody in the playoffs. If they went to Alabama again, I think they'd beat them. Roderick Robertson, the second, 7 runs, 70 yards, 10 yards a carry. Dejon Edwards, 7 runs, 62 yards, 8.9 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns. Connor Stockton, 7 rushes, 46 yards, had 6.6 yards per carry. Ladd McConkey, 1 run, 27 yards, 1 touchdown. Andrew Paul, 3 runs, 21 yards, 7.0 yards per carry. Cash Jones, 5 runs, 32 yards, 6.4 yards per carry. Jackson Muschamp had 1 run, 14 yards. Dylan Bale was their leading receiver, 5 catches, 86 yards. Rosamie Jack Saint, 2 catches, 33 yards. Dominic Lovett, 3 catches, 30 yards and a touchdown. Oscar Dale, 3 catches, 31 yards. Dejon Edwards, 1 catch, 28 yards. Pierce Sperling, the third, 1 catch, 31 yards. Anthony Evans, 1 catch, 14 yards, touchdown. Ladd McConkey, 1 catch, 22 yards. Lawson Lucky, their tight end, beat the backup, 1 catch, 4 yards and a touchdown. Arian Smith, 1 catch, 12 yards and a touchdown. Their defense balled out as well. Obviously, it's a freshman quarterback. It was 9 of 26, 139 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. So, yeah. We'll see how good he is, though, next year. Can't blame him. It's against a good Georgia defense. Georgia's not in the playoffs, but they played all their starters. They had some opt-outs, transfers, but most of their players still played. If Florida State deserved, why didn't they? If they deserved a playoff spot, you could have showed the world that you deserved to get in. But instead, your players quit. They quit on you. Y'all blame your players. Ja'Kai Douglas, 8 runs, 46 yards. He was their leading rusher. Fucking stat sheet. Keziah Holmes, 8 runs, 29 yards receiving wise. Poiter, whatever his name is, 4 catches, 84 yards. It's only receiving really to go over. They had 4 total turnovers, 2 fumbles, 2 interceptions. Georgia's dominated every portion. 673 total yards, 372 rushing, at nearly 9 yards a play, at 37 first downs compared to FSU's 12. 6 and 9 on third downs. Georgia wins 63-3. Florida State ends 13-1, a successful season still then, but Georgia wins the Orange Bowl, probably the worst Orange Bowl of all time, a 60-point blowout. But Georgia might have got robbed of a playoff spot is what is really the main takeaway of this game. But it's really on the NCAA for not having a 12-team playoff this year instead of next year. But it should be fun next year, 12 teams. But Georgia ends 13-1 with a Orange Bowl. But we'll just say the game was just disgraceful. Georgia had less to play for and they didn't opt out. But yeah, that's really have to say for this game. So I'm out. Peace.